we believe is the latest manifestation of God. He brought God's message for us for today. You may have heard some of the books, referred to him. There's a lot more to learn about Baha'u'llah and the Baha'i faith, but that's just a brief view. The religion that some people believe in, and it was founded about 160 years ago, actually in Iran. The story of how he became a Baha'i was, he had memorized the entire Quran. He would go to different religions. For some time he was a Sufi, which I don't know if you guys know what a Sufi is, like another sect of Islam. I actually don't know much about it either. But he was just really thirsty. He really wanted to find God. So he goes and he's like searching all the different sects and religions, but like after a while he would just get unhappy because he would see people would say one thing, but their actions were something very different. So he was just unsettled in his heart. And some time passes and he hears about the Baha'is and he's like, nah, there can't be any truth in that. But then eventually his heart leaves it and he says, you know what, okay, fine. I'm searching for some diamonds and I might as well look in the trash. I'm just gonna look in the Baha'i faith. Like that was his attitude towards the Baha'i faith. It had no truth. I'm just gonna see what's there. So he goes to some Baha'i fireside, which is like teaching meetings. It's where you can learn about the Baha'i faith more. And he would ask such difficult questions that none of the Baha'is could answer. And they would get really actually annoyed at him. Who is this man who comes and asks these questions? And why is he here with us anyways? So he was just really disappointed. And after a really long journey, one night he has a dream about the Bab. Now, so for those of you who don't know who the Bab is, you know who the Bab is? Who's the Bab?
Bab, I think, came to prepare the world for Baha, right?
For Baha'u'llah. Excellent. Yeah. Yes.
I get those names.
Yeah, I know. They sound so similar. Y'all have Baha in them. So the Bab was the person who came and prepared, like she said, about Baha'u'llah's coming. So my grandfather has a dream, and in that dream, the Bab answers all of his questions. All of the things that no one could answer, he gets all of the answers. The next morning he becomes a Baha'i. Immediately he starts traveling. He has a bike. He would sit on the bike, he would go from one town to another, and would tell the people, did you know the manifestation of God has come for today? Would you like to hear about his message? Now, as you can imagine, in a country that is very religious and really likes the religion, that would upset quite a few of the players. So what happens then, after that they start persecuting his family. They do really some unfair things to them. Like they cut at one point the water line and the electricity pipe to their house. They have young children. And many people would live in the house, but they didn't have access to water and electricity. That was one example of it. At another point they came to my grandfather and they told him, okay, we'll give you money, we'll give you whatever job you want in the government, we'll give you the best houses that you can just imagine. Just come to the mosque. Just come and say that you're not a Baha'i. And then he told them, clearly what I have is really valuable because you're willing to pay that much price for it. But I'm not a seller. Sorry. I'm not going to change my religion. So this would continue, and because he was so staunch in his faith, it would make the other people upset. Like, stop teaching people about the Baha'i faith, but he didn't care. So at one point, he gets shot in his shoulder, which actually just makes his arm unable to move for the rest of his life. It's another part of the story. But then after a few months of this continuing, they finally order his persecution. An order comes that you're going to be killed because you're Baha'i, basically. And he was killed a few months after that in November. And this was 8 years before I was born in Iran. So this is what happened to my grandfather. And then same thing, same unjust things, but not of a killing nature. All that happened to my parents. So my mom, are any of you in high school here?
Yes.
You're in high school? You're in high school? Okay, some of you may be going. So my mom, when she started her first year of high school, that's when the Islamic Revolution happened. And really after that, the condition got pretty bad for Baha'is. So she was expelled from her school. Just imagine, if one day you go to your school, you get called to the office, and they tell you you have to no longer come to school.
Because you're religion, that's
Exactly. You can no longer come to school because you're you're Baha'i. It is unfair. It's unfair. But of course, like, you know, my mom, she was taught because of what happened to my grandfather and other members of the community, they were just taught to just show love. You don't show hatred. Because when there's darkness, you can't fight it with darkness. What's the point of hating on someone who hates you? That's just going to make it worse. You have to find the courage in your heart to actually love that person. So my mom, this happened to them. Another thing that happened to them on that same year. So now imagine, you're sleeping in your house, really nice and warm, cozy, and in the middle of the night you hear a sound. And you go out, and there are these strange men in your house, in the yard, and you also notice your house is on fire. That's what happened to my parents, to my mom. In the middle of the night, they came to the house, they set the house on fire, and it's not like they were preparing for this. So they didn't have anything packed. The whole thing burned out. My mom said they had to just run out of the house. They didn't even take their shoes. Like, there was even not time for that. So they just leave, and they had done this with a few of the Baha'i houses. And what they had to do in the middle of the night to go and live with one of the Baha'is, and then actually live there for some time. And the space they had was like from where Stephanie's sitting to here. In this, the small of the room, about 20 people live. That might be very difficult. I understand.
They probably spent a lot of time outside and only slept in there.
But then, how do you speak? I don't know. That many people. But still, despite all of this, my mom, whenever she talks about it, like, I can tell, and the feeling is not one of like hatred and like, why did they do this to us? And, like, over poor victims. There's always a sense of like honor and pride in her that when you know the cause you're a part of has truth in it, you find courage to just keep going, despite the difficulties. Same thing happened to my father. So what happened was, at the time the revolution happened, he was older now. He was in university. Now imagine if you have gotten into like your favorite university, you're studying your favorite major, you have 2 semesters left before graduating, and the Islamic revolution happens, and you go to school the next day, and they send you a letter saying you can no longer come. You can't get your degree.
That would be like terrible.
That happened to my father. He was studying at the best university in Iran, and that happened, and it was difficult for him. But then what the Baha'is did when they couldn't go to school anymore, instead of like hating people or going to protest, they created their own university. You may have known about it. It's usually referred to as BIH, Baha'i Institute for Higher Education. So my dad got his degree there, my mom got his degree there. Just finding constructive ways. So now fast forward, one last story I'll tell you and then we can talk about it. This is just some experiences I had. It wasn't to the same degree. I wasn't expelled, I went to school. But it was just a little bit different.